She was left for dead by her own family. He was barely surviving himself. When a poor single father rescued a beaten stranger from the roadside, he had no idea she was the missing billionaire heiress the world was searching for. He gave her shelter. She gave him her heart. But when her billion-dollar world came crashing back, would their love be rich enough to survive? Welcome back, my wonderful family and friends. If you're tuned in and ready to dive into today's story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from. Tomorrow, I'll be bringing you another exciting story you definitely don't want to miss. So, let's get started. The fluorescent lights of Romano's diner buzzed like dying insects as Marcus wiped down the last table, his shoulders carrying the weight of 16 hours awake. His reflection in the darkened window showed a man at 34 who looked 40, stubble shadowing a jaw that rarely smiled, eyes that had forgotten how to dream beyond the next paycheck. "Marcus, you're off clock 10 minutes ago," Rosa called from the kitchen, her voice maternal and scolding. "That baby girl needs her daddy home." He nodded, untying his grease-stained apron. Baby girl. Lily was 7 now, but she'd always be his baby girl. The only light left in a world that had gone dark 3 years ago when cancer took Sarah, taking with it every plan, every hope, every version of himself that believed in happiness. The November cold bit through his thin jacket as he walked to his truck, a 1998 Ford that coughed more than it drove. Mrs. Chun was waiting at her apartment door when he arrived, Lily asleep against her shoulder. "No charge tonight," Mrs. Chun whispered in her accented English. "She already ate. You look like ghost, Marcus." "I'm fine." The lie tasted familiar. "Thank you." He carried Lily upstairs to their apartment. 2 rooms that smelled of old pipes and broken promises. Overdue notices decorated the kitchen counter like toxic confetti. Electric. Final notice. Rent. 15 days late. He laid Lily gently on their shared bed, kissing her forehead, breathing in the strawberry scent of cheap shampoo. "Love you, baby girl," he whispered. "Love you, daddy," she mumbled, half asleep. "Did you bring the happy home yet?" His throat tightened. She always asked that. Since Sarah died, Lily kept asking when the happy would come back. "Still looking, sweetheart. Still looking." Across the city, in a glass tower that pierced the sky like a middle finger to gravity, Elena Whitmore sat in a boardroom that cost more than most people's homes. "You can't seriously expect us to accept your leadership," her cousin Richard sneered, his Armani suit as sharp as his contempt. "You're 28 years old. Grandfather's fortune requires experience." "The will is clear," Elena said, her voice ice over steel. "I inherit controlling interest on my 29th birthday. 3 weeks from now. This discussion is premature and pointless. Accidents happen," her Aunt Margaret added, examining her manicured nails, "especially to young women who make enemies." The threat hung in the air like poison. Elena stood, her Valentino heels clicking against marble. "This meeting is over." She left them there, their hatred warming her back like fire. In the elevator, her reflection showed designer perfection. Chestnut hair in an elegant twist, silk blouse, tailored pants. Everything curated. Everything controlled. Everything lonely. Her penthouse was waiting, 30 floors of empty luxury. She poured whiskey she couldn't taste, staring at the city lights below. Somewhere down there, people were living real lives. Messy, authentic, connected lives. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Leave the city tonight. They're coming." Her heart stopped. She grabbed her keys, ran. The attack came in the parking garage. 3 men, faces covered. The first blow to her head made stars explode. The second sent her sprawling. She tried to scream. "Shut her up." Something cracked against her spine. White-hot agony. Her legs went numb, useless. They dragged her, threw her in a trunk. Darkness. Time became meaningless. Then cold pavement, distant road noise, the smell of diesel and dirt. They dumped her like garbage. Elena lay there, broken, unable to move, unable to scream. Consciousness flickered. This was how she'd die. Alone. Unloved. Unmissed except by vultures circling her fortune. Headlights swept across her vision. A truck slowed. Stopped. A door opened. Footsteps approached. Jesus Christ. A man's voice, rough with shock and compassion. Ma'am? Ma'am, can you hear me? Strong hands, gentle despite their calluses, touched her face. I've got you, the voice promised. I've got you. And for the first time in her life, Elena believed it. What do you think of how this story begins? Does Marcus's exhaustion and Elena's loneliness feel real to you? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Marcus's apartment had never felt smaller than it did with a broken woman bleeding on his couch. Lily, stay in the bedroom, he commanded, his voice firm but not harsh. His daughter peeked around the doorframe, eyes wide with 7-year-old curiosity and concern. Is she dying, Daddy? No, baby, but I need you to stay back. Okay? He pulled out his phone with shaking hands, scrolling to find Maria's number. Maria, a nurse who worked off the books for people like him, people who couldn't afford emergency rooms and their cascade of bills that buried you alive. Marcus? It's midnight. I know. I'm sorry. I found someone. She's hurt bad. Can you come? 20 minutes later, Maria arrived with her worn medical bag, taking one look at the woman and whistling low. You know this is serious, right? She needs a hospital. She needs help, Marcus corrected. Can you do it or not? Maria's eyes softened. She knew his situation. Knew one hospital bill would end him. Move aside. Marcus watched as Maria worked, cutting away the designer clothes. He noticed the labels even if he didn't understand them, revealing bruises that painted her skin purple and yellow. The woman drifted in and out of consciousness, whimpering when Maria touched her spine. Her legs? Marcus asked. Can't tell without x-rays. Could be temporary swelling. Could be. Maria didn't finish. Keep her still. Watch for fever. Clean the wounds twice daily. If she gets worse, you call 911. Promise me. I promise. After Maria left, Marcus stood there, staring at the stranger who'd crashed into his life like a meteor. She was beautiful beneath the damage. He noticed that too, hated himself for noticing. Her breathing was shallow, pained. Lily, he called softly, bring me the clean sheets from the closet. Together, they made up his bedroom, the only private space in the apartment. Marcus carried the woman. She weighed nothing, like a bird with broken wings, and laid her carefully on his bed. Her eyes fluttered open, green and terrified. Please, she whispered. Don't call anyone. I won't. You're safe here. Why? Her voice cracked. Why are you helping me? Marcus thought of all the times he'd needed help. All the times doors closed in his face. All the times the world said he didn't matter because his bank account was empty. Because someone should, he said simply. Tears slipped down her temples. Thank you. Something in those 2 words hit him square in the chest. The rawness, the disbelief, like she'd never expected human kindness. Like gratitude was a foreign language she'd just learned. What's your name? He asked. She hesitated. Fear flickered across her face. Elena. I'm Marcus. That curious face peeking around the door is Lily. Hi, Lily whispered, stepping closer. You're pretty, even with the boo-boos. Elena's laugh was broken but genuine. Thank you, sweetheart. Marcus spent the next hour cleaning Elena's wounds with gentle hands that had built warehouses and washed dishes. Hands that knew hard work but hadn't forgotten tenderness. She flinched at first, then gradually relaxed, her eyes following his movements. You've done this before, she murmured. My wife. Before she. He stopped, cleared his throat. You need rest. Where will you sleep? Couch is fine. Marcus. She caught his wrist, her grip weak but insistent. I can't repay you for this. Didn't ask you to. He met her eyes and something passed between them, recognition maybe. 2 people who'd learned that the world was cruel, finding unexpected softness in each other. Just heal. That's enough. As he left the room, he heard her whisper again, thank you. And for the first time in 3 years, Marcus felt something other than numb. He felt needed. He felt alive. 5 days passed like a strange dream neither of them wanted to wake from. Elena learned the rhythms of Marcus's life. The 4 a.m. alarm, the quiet shuffle as he made Lily's lunch, the whispered "be good" for Mrs. Chun, before he disappeared into a world of exhausting labor. He'd return at 3 p.m., spend 2 hours with Lily doing homework and playing pretend, then leave again for the diner shift, not returning until midnight. She heard everything through the thin bedroom door. His exhaustion, his patience, his love. "Why doesn't Daddy sleep?" Lily asked one afternoon, sitting cross-legged beside Elena's bed, coloring a picture of a house with a garden. Things she'd probably never have. "He's working hard for you," Elena said, propped against pillows, her legs still useless beneath the blanket. "Mommy used to say Daddy works too hard, that he forgets to save some living for himself." Lily's crayon paused. "Do you think he's forgot how to be happy?" The question pierced Elena's chest. Maybe he just needs reminding. When Marcus came home that evening, Elena was sitting up, color returning to her cheeks. She'd managed to brush her hair with one hand, though the effort left her trembling. "You look better," he said, setting down groceries, the cheapest brands she noticed, everything calculated to the penny. "Thanks to you." She watched him unpack with economical movements, no waste, no excess. "Marcus, let me help. I can pay you back." "No." The word came sharp, a wall slamming down. "You're taking extra shifts because of me. I see the bills on your counter." His jaw tightened. "My bills? My problem. I'm the reason you're paying Maria. I'm eating your food." "Elena." He turned, and his eyes were hard. "I didn't help you so you'd owe me something. That's not how this works." "Then how does it work?" she challenged, frustration rising. In her world, everything was transactional. Every kindness had a price tag. His refusal didn't make sense. "You just help because it's right, because you can." He shook his head. "You wouldn't understand." The dismissal stung. "Try me." But Marcus was already retreating, putting distance between them like he'd been doing since that first night. She'd caught him watching her sometimes, when she laughed at Lily's jokes, when sunlight caught her face, and something warm would flicker in his expression before he'd look away, ashamed. It infuriated her. That night, after Lily was asleep, Elena pulled herself into her wheelchair, a beat-up thing Marcus had borrowed from somewhere. She rolled into the living room where he sat on the couch, head in his hands, the picture of defeat. "Why won't you let me in?" she asked quietly. He looked up, surprise crossing his face. "You should be resting." "I'm tired of resting. I'm tired of you treating me like I'm made of glass." "You are made of glass right now. Broken glass." "So are you," she shot back. "I see it, Marcus. The way you move through life like you're apologizing for existing. The way you love your daughter fiercely but won't let yourself have anything. Not rest. Not joy. Not what?" He stood, defensive. "Not someone like you? You're right. I won't." "Someone like me? Come on, Elena. You might be hurt now, but you're not from my world. Those clothes you came in, even torn up, I could tell they cost more than I make in 6 months. Your hands, they've never done hard labor. Whatever you're running from, whoever you really are, you don't belong in a place like this." The words hung between them like a chasm. "And you," she said, voice shaking, "have already decided I'm too good for you before even knowing me. I know enough. You know nothing." She turned her chair toward the bedroom, her hands trembling on the wheels. "You're a coward, Marcus. You hide behind your poverty like it's a shield, using it as an excuse not to let anyone close." She left him standing there, his face stricken. Neither of them slept that night. On opposite sides of a thin wall, both ached with words unsaid and a connection they were too scared to reach for. The winter storm hit on a Tuesday with the fury of nature reminding humans how small they were. By noon, the power was out across 6 blocks. By evening, the temperature inside Marcus's apartment had dropped to near freezing. Marcus called his supervisor, got the night off, the diner had closed anyway. Lily bounced with excitement at having Daddy home, oblivious to the worry etched in his face. She flinched. Before I understood that everything I thought was real was just transaction, performance. Marcus fed another candle as one guttered out. In the flickering light, his face looked younger, more vulnerable. Must be lonely, having everything but nothing real. Must be lonely, she countered gently. Having everything real but believing you don't deserve more. His eyes finally met hers. I had more once. A wife who loved me. Dreams bigger than just surviving. Then cancer came and took it all. Left me with medical bills that still follow me and a daughter who asks when the happy is coming back. His voice cracked. I don't get to want more, Elena. I get to keep Lily fed and safe. That's it. What if you could have both? People like me don't get both. People like you? She leaned forward, intensity burning through her pain. Marcus, do you know what you are? You're the first person in my entire life who helped me expecting nothing in return. Who saw me hurt and broken and didn't see opportunity. You saw someone who needed help. Do you understand how rare that is? I'm not special. You are, she interrupted fiercely. You're good. Genuinely, thoroughly good. And you're so busy punishing yourself for being poor that you can't see your own worth. And you're so used to people wanting your money that you can't believe someone might just want you. He fired back. The words hit them both like lightning. They stared at each other across Lily's sleeping form, breathing hard, the truth finally naked between them. Marcus, Elena whispered. I'm scared. Of what? That when you find out who I really am, you'll look at me the way everyone else does. Like I'm a bank account with a pulse. His hand reached across, found hers in the darkness. Calloused fingers threading through soft ones. I already know who you are, he said quietly. You're the woman who makes my daughter laugh, who argues with me when I'm being stubborn, who's brave even when you're terrified. That's who you are. Everything else is just noise. She squeezed his hand like a lifeline. What if the noise is too loud to ignore? Then we'll be loud right back. Outside, the storm raged. Inside, something warmer than candles began to burn. When Elena finally fell asleep, her hand was still in his. Marcus stayed awake, watching her breathe, knowing he was falling and unable to stop himself. What would you do in Marcus's position? Protect your heart or risk it all? Let me know in the comments. The power came back 3 days later, and with it, the world crashed back in. Elena's memory had been returning in fragments. Sharp pieces of her attack, her family's threats, the board meeting. But it wasn't until she was alone in Marcus's bedroom, watching the small TV he'd given her, that everything crystallized with horrifying clarity. Missing heiress Elena Whitmore, daughter of tech mogul Robert Whitmore, hasn't been seen in 2 weeks. The family is offering a $50 million reward for information leading to her safe return. Authorities suspect foul play. Her face filled the screen. Professional photo. Pearl earrings. Cold smile. The remote slipped from her shaking hands. In the living room, Marcus was helping Lily with math homework when he heard the crash. He rushed in to find Elena staring at the television, tears streaming down her face. Then he saw the screen. His entire body went rigid. Marcus, she started. $50 million? His voice was hollow, distant. You're Elena Whitmore, the Whitmore heiress. Let me explain. I had you in my home. My daughter. He backed toward the door, looking at her like she was a stranger, like she was dangerous. Do you know what people will think? That I kidnapped you? You saved me, she cried. Marcus, please, my family. They're the ones who tried to kill me. My cousins wanted my inheritance. They hired those men. I couldn't tell you because I didn't know who to trust. So you lied to me. The betrayal in his voice cut deeper than any blade. You let me take care of you, let me worry about bills I can't afford, watched me work myself to death, and you're worth billions? I didn't lie. I couldn't. She was sobbing now, reaching for him. For the first time in my life, someone saw me as just Elena. Not as money, not as opportunity, just me. And it was real, Marcus. What we have is real. What we have. He laughed bitterly. We don't have anything. You're a billionaire playing poverty tourism in my life. This, he gestured around the cramped apartment. This is entertainment for you. A story you'll tell at cocktail parties. That's not fair. Fair. His voice rose, pain and anger mixing into something volcanic. You know what's not fair? That I'm standing here falling in love with someone so far above me that I'm just some charity case you'll forget the second you go back to your real life. The words hung between them. Falling in love, but neither could reach for them through the debris of broken trust. I never saw you as a charity case, Elena whispered. I saw you as the man who gave me everything when he had nothing. The man who's stronger than anyone I've ever known. The man her voice broke. The man I love. Marcus closed his eyes, his whole body trembling. Please don't make this harder. It's the truth. The truth. He opened his eyes, and they were wet. The truth is some social worker is going to show up and accuse me of exploiting you. The truth is your family will destroy me for touching you. The truth is that I'm a single dad with $14 in my checking account, and you're worth more than I'll make in 10 lifetimes. That's the truth, Elena. A knock at the door made them both freeze. Marcus opened it to find two men in expensive suits and a woman with a federal badge. Marcus Torres? The woman said. We need to talk about Elena Whitmore. Behind them, 3 black SUVs idled on the street. Elena's world had found her, and Marcus's world was about to shatter. Wait! Elena's voice cut through the tension. Agent, whoever you are, Marcus Torres saved my life. He found me dying on the road and took me in when he had every reason not to. He's done nothing wrong. The federal agent, Rodriguez, according to her badge, studied Marcus with calculating eyes. We'll need to verify that, Mr. Torres. There are protocols when a missing person of Ms. Whitmore's significance is found. Of course there are, Marcus said flatly. People like me don't get the benefit of doubt. Rodriguez's expression softened slightly. Actually, Mr. Torres, we've been tracking Ms. Whitmore's family. Your story aligns with our investigation. We know about the attack, the conspiracy. You're not in trouble, but we do need statements from both of you. 3 hours later, after lawyers and statements and enough bureaucratic red tape to strangle hope, the agents finally left. They'd return tomorrow for Elena, they said. Her family would be contacted. Arrangements would be made. The cage door was closing. Marcus stood at the window, watching the SUVs disappear into the night. Lily was at Mrs. Chen's. He'd called, not wanting her to see this circus. They'll take you tomorrow, he said without turning around. Marcus. It's okay. His voice was carefully empty. It's what needs to happen. You need proper medical care. Your life. I get it. Elena wheeled herself closer, her heart fracturing with each rotation. What if I don't want to go? Don't. He finally turned, and his face was raw with emotion. Don't say things like that. You have a life worth billions. I have a life worth. Whatever this is. We both knew this was temporary. Did we? She reached for his hand. Because I didn't. Every morning I woke up in your bed, heard you making Lily breakfast, listened to you two laugh. I wasn't counting down to leaving. I was counting on staying. Elena, be realistic. I am being realistic. Her voice rose with desperate passion. For 28 years, I've lived in a gold-plated prison. Every friend wanted something. Every relationship was calculated. Every smile was a transaction. Then I woke up in this tiny apartment with a man who works 2 jobs and still finds time to make his daughter feel like a princess. A man who treated me with more genuine care than anyone ever has. You think I want to go back to that emptiness? Marcus knelt in front of her wheelchair, taking both her hands. You say that now, but when you're back in your penthouse, when you're healthy again, when the lawyers are managing your billions, you'll remember this as a strange chapter. The time you slummed it with the poor guy. Stop calling yourself that. She cupped his face, forcing him to meet her eyes. You are not poor where it matters. You're rich in every way that counts. You love with your whole heart. You give when you have nothing left to give. You make your daughter believe in happiness, even when you've forgotten how to feel it yourself. Elena, I love you, Marcus Torres. I love your stubborn pride and your gentle hands and the way you read Lily 3 bedtime stories even when you're dead on your feet. I love that you see me, just me, not the money or the name or the empire. Just Elena. His forehead dropped to rest against hers. This is crazy. I know. Your family will never accept me. I don't need them to. I can't give you anything close to what you're used to. You've already given me everything that matters. Her thumbs brushed away the tears sliding down his cheeks. You gave me a reason to want to wake up. You gave me hope that real love exists. You gave me a home. This apartment is falling apart. Home isn't a place, Marcus. It's a person. You're my home. He kissed her then, desperate and tender and terrified, like a man holding something precious he knows he might lose. She kissed him back with equal intensity, pouring every ounce of certainty she possessed into the connection of their lips. When they finally pulled apart, both were crying. What do we do? He whispered. We fight, she said simply. For this, for us, for the life we both deserve. I don't know how. Then we'll learn together. That night, Marcus held Elena on the couch, her head on his chest, their fingers intertwined. Neither slept. Both memorized the moment, the warmth, the impossible rightness of two broken people fitting perfectly together. Tomorrow would bring reality. Tonight they had each other, and for now that was enough. They came at dawn like an invading army. Marcus woke to the sound of car doors slamming, expensive heels clicking on pavement. He barely had time to pull on a shirt before the knocking started. Aggressive, entitled, demanding. Marcus, don't, Elena began, but he was already at the door. He opened it to a wall of hostility. 3 people stood there. A silver-haired woman dripping in diamonds, a man in a suit that cost more than Marcus's truck, and behind them, a security detail that looked military. Where is she? The woman demanded, pushing past Marcus like he was furniture. Aunt Margaret. Elena's voice was ice as she wheeled into the living room. How did you find me? Federal agents are remarkably cooperative when properly motivated. Margaret's eyes swept the apartment with visible disgust. My God, Elena, what have you been doing in this hovel? Recovering, Elena said firmly, from the attack your son orchestrated. Careful with your accusations, cousin. The man, Richard sneered, especially when you've been shacking up with. His eyes raked over Marcus with contempt. Whatever this is. Marcus's fists clenched. Get out of my home. Your home. Richard laughed. You mean this Section 8 closet? Tell me, Mr. Torres, how much did you plan to extort from my cousin? 50 million? 100. I didn't. Please. Margaret cut him off. A poor single father just happens to find the Whitmore heiress? Tends to her in his apartment instead of taking her to a hospital? Keeps her isolated for 2 weeks? We're not idiots. He saved my life. Elena shouted. He saw an opportunity, Richard corrected. And you, in your compromised state, developed a classic case of Stockholm Syndrome. Don't worry, Elena. We'll get you proper psychiatric care. Marcus felt his world tilting. Elena, tell them. I already did. She wheeled toward her family, fury in every line of her body. Marcus is innocent. He's good and kind and I'm sure he's been very kind, Margaret said with poisonous sweetness. That's how con men work, dear. They make you feel special while they position themselves for the payday. That's not true. Lily's voice piped up from the doorway. She'd come home with Mrs. Chen and now stood in her worn pajamas, eyes wide with confusion and fear. My daddy helps people. He's the best daddy in the whole world. Richard's eyes landed on Lily with calculating coldness. Ah yes, the daughter. Tell me, Mr. Torres, did you coach her too? Use her to gain Elena's trust? That's particularly sick. Something snapped in Marcus. You need to leave. Now. We're leaving, Margaret agreed. And Elena is coming with us. We have a medical transport waiting. I'm not going anywhere, Elena said. You don't have a choice, darling. You're clearly not in your right mind. We've already filed for emergency conservatorship based on your diminished mental capacity. Until you're evaluated by our doctors, your medical decisions, and financial ones, are in our hands. The color drained from Elena's face. You can't. We can. We are. Margaret gestured to the security team. Gentlemen, please help Ms. Whitmore to the vehicle. Don't touch her. Marcus moved to block them, but two security guards grabbed his arms, restraining him with professional efficiency. Daddy! Lily screamed. Marcus! Elena reached for him, but her wheelchair was already being moved toward the door. Elena, listen to me, Margaret said, crouching beside her niece's chair with false sympathy. Look at what you're fighting for. Look at this place. Look at him. Is this really what you want? Or has he manipulated you into thinking you love poverty? Elena's eyes met Marcus's across the room. In that moment, she should have declared her love loud enough to shake the walls. She should have told them all to go to hell. But she saw Lily crying, saw Marcus being manhandled, saw the neighbors gathering in the hallway with judgment in their eyes. She saw Marcus's dignity being shredded in front of his daughter, his community, his world, and she hesitated, just for a second, but Marcus saw it. Go, he said quietly, the fight draining out of him. Just go, Elena. Marcus, no. I didn't mean. I know what you meant. His voice was dead. You looked around and remembered who you are, and who I'm not. That's not true. But the security team was already wheeling her toward the door. She fought them, reaching back, crying his name. Daddy, make them stop. Lily sobbed, clinging to Mrs. Chun. Marcus watched Elena disappear into a black SUV, watched the convoy of wealth and power swallow her whole. The last thing he saw was her face in the window, tears streaming, hand pressed against the glass. Then she was gone. The neighbors dispersed, whispering. Mrs. Chun took Lily inside. Marcus stood alone in his doorway, staring at the empty street. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. $2 million has been deposited in your account. For your trouble. Don't contact Elena again. He stared at the message, then at his apartment, then at his hands. The same hands that had held her, healed her, loved her. He deleted the text. He walked inside. He didn't cry until Lily was asleep. Then he broke. Have you ever lost someone because the world said you weren't enough for them? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes just knowing we're not alone helps the healing. 3 weeks felt like 3 lifetimes. Marcus returned to his routine. Warehouse at dawn, diner at night, Lily sandwiched in between. But the apartment felt haunted. He'd sleep on the couch now, couldn't bear to enter the bedroom where Elena had healed, where they'd talked through the night, where he'd allowed himself to believe in impossible things. Lily asked about her every day for the first week. Then, sensing her father's pain, she stopped asking. But Marcus would catch her staring at the corner where the wheelchair had been, her small face too sad for 7 years old. Daddy? She asked one night as he tucked her in. Did we do something wrong? Is that why Elena left? The question shattered him. No, baby girl. We didn't do anything wrong. Then why does it hurt so much? He had no answer. He just held her until she fell asleep, then returned to the couch where sleep wouldn't come. The money haunted him. $2 million, sitting in his account like a slap across the face. Blood money. Hush money. Here's your payment for 3 weeks of caring. Now disappear. He hadn't touched a cent. At the warehouse, his co-workers noticed his silence. At the diner, Rosa stopped trying to make him smile. He was a ghost going through motions, waiting for something he couldn't name. Then, on a Tuesday, Lily brought home a school assignment. Write about a hero, the worksheet said. She'd written, my hero is my daddy. He saves people even when he doesn't have much. He saved a lady who was hurt and made her smile again. Heroes don't need capes. They just need big hearts. Marcus read it 3 times, tears blurring the crayon letters. That night, after Lily was asleep, he sat in the darkness and let himself remember Elena's words. You're rich in every way that counts. Was he? Or had he been so busy protecting himself from rejection that he'd rejected the best thing that ever happened to him? He thought about that moment, her hesitation when her family attacked him. He'd seen it as proof she didn't really love him. But what if it was something else? What if she'd hesitated because she was trying to protect him, trying to calculate how to fight them without destroying him in the crossfire? What if he'd given up too easily? "You're a coward, Marcus," she'd once told him. "You hide behind your poverty like it's a shield." She'd been right. He pulled out his phone with shaking hands and did something he'd been too proud to do. He searched for Elena Whitmore. The articles loaded. Photos of her at charity galas, looking hollow-eyed and thin. A press release about her recovery at an undisclosed facility. Speculation about her future with Whitmore Industries. Nothing about the woman who'd laughed at Lily's jokes. Nothing about the woman who'd cried in his arms. Nothing real. He found her company's main number, called it, got bounced through 5 assistants before hitting a wall. "I'm sorry, sir. Ms. Whitmore isn't taking calls. Tell her it's Marcus Torres. I'm afraid. Tell her Lily misses her. Tell her." His voice cracked. "Tell her the happy came back, but it left again. She'll know what that means." Silence. Then, "Please hold." 5 minutes passed. 10. Marcus's heart hammered against his ribs. Finally, "Mr. Torres?" A new voice, male, officious. "This is Elena's attorney. Ms. Whitmore has asked me to convey that she appreciates your call, but she thinks it's best if you both move forward separately. The funds transferred to your account should help facilitate that transition." "I don't want the money. Nevertheless, I want to talk to her. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." "That's not possible. Ms. Whitmore is in a very delicate state. Her family has her best interests. Her family tried to kill her." Marcus exploded. "And you're keeping her prisoner. Mr. Torres, if you continue to harass." Marcus hung up. He sat there, phone in his hand, feeling the walls close in. Then Lily's worksheet caught his eye again. Heroes don't need capes. They just need big hearts. Something hardened in his chest. Not anger, but determination. He'd spent 3 years surviving. Maybe it was time to start living. Maybe it was time to fight for something. For someone. For Elena. For them. He opened his laptop. A battered thing held together with duct tape, and started searching. Whitmore Industries headquarters. Security protocols. Visitor policies. He had no plan, no resources, no idea how a man like him stormed a fortress built by billionaires. But he knew one thing. Elena had fought her way into his heart. Now it was his turn to fight his way to hers. At dawn, he called in sick to both jobs for the first time in 3 years. He dropped Lily at school with extra hugs. "Where are you going, Daddy?" she asked, sensing something different in him. He knelt down, looking into his daughter's eyes, Sarah's eyes. "I'm going to bring the happy back, baby girl." Lily's face lit up like sunrise. "You're getting Elena? I'm going to try." "Then you'll do it," she said with absolute 7-year-old certainty. "Because you're my hero." Marcus held his daughter tight, borrowed her faith, and stood up. Time to be brave. Time to be worthy, not of Elena's money, but of her love. Time to prove that sometimes the poorest man can be the richest after all. Whitmore Industries Tower stood like a monument to everything Marcus wasn't. Polished, powerful, untouchable. He walked through the lobby in his only clean shirt, jeans that had been patched twice, work boots that had seen better years. Security eyed him immediately. A man like him didn't belong in a place like this. "Can I help you?" The receptionist's smile was professional ice. "I need to see Elena Whitmore." "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but..." "Then I'm afraid that's impossible. Ms. Whitmore doesn't see anyone without. Tell her Marcus Torres is here." He placed both hands on the marble desk, steady despite his racing heart. "Tell her I'm not leaving until she sees me." The receptionist's finger hovered over what Marcus suspected was a security button. "Sir, I'll have to ask you to. Is there a problem?" A new voice, sharp and familiar. Richard Whitmore emerged from the elevators, his smile predatory. "Mr. Torres. What a surprise." Come to deposit your blood money in person. I came to see Elena. She doesn't want to see you. She's made that very clear. Then let her tell me herself. Richard's laugh echoed through the lobby. You really don't understand how out of your league you are, do you? Elena is exactly where she belongs, with her family, managing her empire, living her real life. Whatever fantasy you two played in your little apartment is over. It wasn't a fantasy. Marcus's voice carried across the lobby, drawing stares. It was the first real thing either of us ever had. And if you think I'm walking away without fighting for it, you don't understand me at all. Security. Let him through. Every head turned. Elena stood by the elevators in a designer suit that probably cost more than Marcus's truck. Her hair professionally styled, makeup perfect. She looked like the billionaire she was. But her eyes were broken. Elena, Richard warned. You don't have to. I said let him through. Her voice was steel. The security guards stepped back. Marcus walked across that lobby like he was crossing a minefield, every step taking him closer to either salvation or destruction. They rode the elevator in silence, 30 floors up to her penthouse office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Her desk was bigger than his living room. Why are you here, Marcus? She stood with her back to him, staring at the skyline. Because I'm an idiot. She turned, surprise flickering across her face. I'm an idiot, he continued. Who let you go without fighting? Who saw you hesitate and decided it meant you didn't love me, when really you were just trying to protect me? Who was so busy being ashamed of what I don't have that I couldn't see what I do have? You were right. I'm a coward who hides behind his poverty. Marcus. But I'm done hiding. He stepped closer. I love you, Elena. I don't care about the money or the towers or the family that wants to destroy me. I care about the woman who made my daughter laugh. The woman who argued with me when I was being stubborn. The woman who saw past my bank account and loved me anyway. Tears streamed down her face. They'll never stop fighting us. My family will make your life hell. The media will tear you apart. You'll be known as the gold digger who... I don't care. He closed the distance between them, cupping her face in his calloused hands. Let them say whatever they want. I know the truth. You know the truth. That's all that matters. I have billions, Marcus. How do we navigate that? Carefully. Together. One day at a time. He smiled, real and warm. And maybe you use some of those billions to do good. Help families like mine. Make sure no one has to choose between medicine and food. Turn your fortune into something that matters. She laughed through her tears. I already started. A foundation. For single parents and their children. I was going to name it after Lily. His throat tightened. Elena. I never stopped loving you, she whispered. Not for a second. Every day in this cage I thought about you. About her. About the life we could have if I was just brave enough to reach for it. Then reach. He held out his hand. Reach for me. For us. She took his hand, and everything else fell away. The kiss was different from their first. Not desperate or stolen, but chosen. Deliberate. Promise. When they pulled apart, Marcus rested his forehead against hers. I returned the money. I know. That's when I knew you were real. We're really doing this? A billionaire and a warehouse worker. No. She smiled, radiant and free. A woman and a man who love each other. Everything else is just details. 6 months later. The apartment was still small, still cramped, but it didn't matter. Marcus opened the door to find Elena and Lily covered in flour, attempting cookies. His two favorite people laughing like conspirators. Daddy! Lily launched herself at him. Elena's teaching me to bake. Well, we're teaching each other. We're both terrible. I noticed. He kissed his daughter's flour-dusted nose, then crossed to Elena, pulling her close. How was physical therapy? Painful. Productive. She'd regained some feeling in her legs, could stand with assistance now. The doctors were cautiously optimistic. How was class? He was in business school now. A scholarship Elena's foundation had helped him secure. Not charity, he'd earned it. But her support had made it possible. Exhausting. Worth it. They'd found their rhythm. Marcus kept the apartment. It was important to him, a reminder of where he came from. But Elena had moved in, bringing nothing but herself and a fierce determination to prove love didn't need luxury. Her family had eventually backed down when Elena threatened to expose Richard's role in her attack. The cousins faced criminal charges. Aunt Margaret kept her distance, bitter but beaten. The media had their field day. Billionaire heiress slums it with poor boyfriend. But Marcus and Elena learned to ignore the noise. Their truth was stronger than anyone's narrative. "I have something to ask you," Marcus said, his heart suddenly pounding. Elena looked up, flower on her cheek, love in her eyes. "Yes. I haven't even asked yet." "Doesn't matter. The answer is yes." He laughed, pulling a small box from his pocket. The ring inside was modest, all he could afford even with his scholarships and new part-time job. Not a diamond big enough to blind, just a simple band with a single small stone. "It's not much," he started. "It's everything," she interrupted, tears already flowing. "It's real. It's us. It's perfect. Elena Whitmore, will you?" "Yes." She threw her arms around his neck. "Yes, yes, yes." Lily cheered, dancing around them. "Does this mean Elena's staying forever?" "Forever," Marcus confirmed, slipping the ring on Elena's finger. She stared at it like it was worth more than all her billions combined. Because it was. That night, after Lily fell asleep between them, they still shared that bed, all three of them, refusing to let space separate what love had brought together. Marcus held Elena close. "Did you ever imagine?" she whispered. "That night on the road? That I'd find the love of my life bleeding on the pavement?" "No." He kissed her hair. "But I'm grateful every day that I took that route, that I stopped, that I was brave enough to help. You saved me in every way a person can be saved. You saved me too. You brought the happy back." Outside, the city hummed with its millions of stories. But inside that small apartment, three people had found something rarer than any fortune. They'd found each other. And they'd found home. Not in marble towers or penthouse suites, but in flower-dusted kitchens and shared blankets. In gentle hands and fierce hearts. In the revolutionary act of choosing love over fear. Marcus had been wrong about one thing. The poorest man wasn't the richest after all. Love made them both richer than they'd ever dreamed possible. And that was worth everything. So, what do you believe? Does true love really conquer all, or are some divides too wide to bridge? Drop your thoughts below. And if this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to believe in love again. Sometimes we all need reminding that the best things in life can't be bought. They can only be given freely, from one brave heart to another. Thank you so much for watching my story all the way to the end. Your support means everything. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.